Well, when members of our military head overseas to serve and protect us, they sometimes meet a special furry friend to keep them company during their deployment. Getting a cat or a dog from abroad into the United States isn't always an easy task, but one organization is stepping up to help active duty servicemen and women bring their four-legged friends to their forever homes. I love these pictures. And joining me now is the co-founder of Paws of War, Robert Mazzari. Robert, this is really beautiful. Tell us about this great organization and what inspired you to help our troops in such a beautiful way.
Thank you, Rita. So it is nothing worse than hearing from a service member that they served years ago, 6, 7 years ago, and they fell in love with an animal, they rescued that animal, and vice versa, and then they had no resources to bring that animal back. Policy does not allow them to play any role in that. So if they cannot depend on an organization like ours, they have to leave those animals behind. And it weighs very, very heavy on their heart. They think about those animals all the time. So now when an active member reaches out to us, we act immediately. And we do everything anywhere in the world, wherever they're stationed, to get those animals safely back to them. And normally they come before them so that the service member is still serving, but then we reunite them when they come back to America.
And you know, I understand that you're trying to save sort of a specific case. This is a couple of cats, Nani and Noonie, from overseas, to reunite them with their owner, Air Force Staff Sergeant Rivera, who's now living in Texas, who bonded with them during his deployment. Tell us about their story and what the process is to get these great animal homes back to the United States, to get them over there and to be reunited.
So the sergeant noticed a cat sitting by his front door one day, very hungry, dehydrated, emaciated. And then she sat there every day waiting for him to come out. And they just created a bond. And in a couple of, for a few days, she went missing. Apparently, she gave birth to this little baby, Noonie, and she had her in her mouth. And as soon as he opened up his door, she came right in. She needed a place safe to bring her place, and he did. He nurtured both of them back to health, and he became their father. Now think about him having to leave them behind in a very harsh place for animals.
You know, talk about also the bond. I grew up in an animal home. I love animals, so this is really near and dear to my heart. But talk about the important bond that animals do, especially for those in the military, even from a post-traumatic stress standpoint, what it does, and also to help veterans too.
It plays a significant impact, whether you have PTSD or not. And for those who are actually serving overseas, they're not with their family. They live a very different life. And when an animal comes into that person's life, the bond is very, very unique. So separating and the guilt of having to leave that partnership that you created while you were on deployment and never to know whatever happened to that animal. Oftentimes they go back to starvation. They're abused by individuals. It's horrible. So the bond is tremendous, and we need to get these animals here. We have so many cases, Rita. The biggest problem we have right now is the funding for these cases. We don't charge our service members a single penny. It's all based on donations. That's our biggest struggle right now.
Well, for folks listening, how can they help? How can they find out more?
Please visit us at pawsofwar.org to learn more about what we can do for these service members and how you can help.
Bravo to everything you're doing. What a great, fantastic mission. Robert, thank you very much. Pawsofwar.org. You heard it, everybody. Thank you, Robert.